Hey guys, it's been a while since I made that last video in which I talked about how I got inspired by a trip and I painted a scene in the forest, but I'm here today to talk about the Wild West challenge from ArtStation. It was back in April and I participated in the first stage, which was related to pre-production, and it lasted for a month, and I took the keyframe category. All they asked for were 4 delivered images before the 4-week deadline. And these images had to not only contain believable environments and characters, but to tell the story behind them. You know, this was about the Wild West action and how that world moves around. And those keyframes had to tell a compelling story and produce an emotional response to it. So having this in mind already, I hesitated to take the challenge at first. I never took part on any challenge or contest before, at least related to digital art, but I had that sensation of, you know, that feeling when you're the worst of all the others. And since this is a challenge with prizes and so on, it sounded pretty competitive as hell. And I don't know how, but I suddenly gave it a half spin around, and it wasn't against anybody but myself. It was me against myself. So this doesn't mean I see myself better than others. In fact, I would have a hard time on answering such questions like, who's the best artist? Give me a name. You know, I simply can't. There's no reasonable structure I can follow to tell that. I simply love art, and it comes in so many shapes. We all have favorites, right? But it's so hard to determine which of them is the single best one. But anyway, going back to the main subject, the challenge, I suddenly realized it was me against myself. So I put it in a way in which I could finally focus on what I have been struggling for many years now. I'm aware of my progress, and I'm really happy to see I have come so far on technical skills like composition and rendering. However, I'm also aware, and I'm really excited to know that there's still an infinite way to go. I have just started and I love that idea. But besides technical stuff, fundamentals and basic pillars of visual art, I always felt like narrative was one of my weakest points, and this event gave me the opportunity to work on that. Fortunately, I could count on my dear friend and business partner Kiko, who is a talented writer and narrative designer, and he helped me out on the brainstorming process, you know, the blue sky stage in which everything can make it to the final cut, and also assisted me with some feedback in the making process. He helped me to visualize those frames, and I instantly started sketching what I had in mind. From there on, I rejected most of them to keep it down to 4 keyframes, and I only kept the ones I found most attractive. It was pretty hard because it felt like a sacrifice. Having to choose one over another was a hard reality to deal with. But by the way, this is how the first keyframe started. It looks like a sacrifice, but it's actually a transformation, which is exactly what happened with my ideas. I love to play around with this kind of metaphors and hidden messages and meanings on my projects. Now, as someone who has been doing artworks in under 5 hours max per piece, always doing only quick sketches and unfinished stuff, this was a test for myself. All keyframes had to be well polished and high quality, so I focused on delivering my very best. I had 1 month, and so I had time, but no plan really. I thought, should I sketch all of them first and then render them one by one, or should I work on all of them at the same time? Damn, what if, screw it. A few hours have already passed and I have nothing. By the way, I have to mention I could commit to this full time. So time was passing by and I was still thinking how to start. I got tired of it and I picked the story-wise chronologically first, and then the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and I faced very bad time management issues on this contest since I invested too much time in the first image, but results paid off actually. But I had to adapt to a schedule and a defined time frame. Deadline was coming and I still had 1 more image to get done. Here's where creativity kicked in. I had to adapt, so I changed my process. I went through line art only, 3D base meshes and overpaint, starting from a picture. You know, I tried different ways, but different approaches to get my idea on that white canvas. This was a self-exploration journey on different skills, going from how good I am with this or that software to core skills like time management, big picture vision, and so on. And I freaking loved it. It helped me a lot. It helped me to measure myself in terms of how fast and how good can I be on my job. Since I'm constantly evolving professionally, sometimes it was very hard on me to tell a client how long would an artwork take me to get done. And this was because of a lack of practice on these core observational skills. I never counted the amount of time spent on my designs, and I have always looked at them regardless of their different quality level. But this experience helped me on that. It helped me on checking out where my limits are not, and it gave me another perspective on what they expect from you out there. I personally feel very satisfied since the results are beyond my expectations, and I'm looking forward to more opportunities like this. And by the way, I highly encourage you guys to take these kind of challenges, to step out of your comfort zone and push your boundaries, stepping over your self-created limits and enjoy the benefits after. These contests are free, but the reward is insane. They give a lot more than they take. So give them a try next time and stay creative, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.